They called it a prank, a marketing stunt, a fake kidnapping for clicks and clout. But when the first real ransom video surfaced, the joke curdled into fear. The police weren't amused. The comments weren't laughing. Somewhere between fiction and panic, Lena Cruz vanished. For real. Evan Park swore it was all a setup. He said she was supposed to walk through the door an hour after the upload. But what if she never meant to? What if the story got hijacked by someone watching closer than they thought? What happens when a lie becomes too real to control? When the performance doesn't end when the camera cuts. The internet demanded proof, and it got blood instead. 2 weeks earlier, before the hashtags, before the cops, Lena pitched it like a movie. She told Evan they'd fake a kidnapping to test how fast lies spread. He hesitated, but she already had the script, the angles, the hashtags. People believe what they want, she said. And he wanted to believe her. The first shot would be dramatic. Duct tape. Fear. A countdown. It wasn't about danger. It was about attention. But attention is a storm. And once it starts, it doesn't care who gets buried beneath it. The first rehearsal was a disaster. Lena couldn't cry on cue. Evan said it looked fake. She laughed, frustrated. He didn't. The tension between them thickened, not romantic, just desperate. They both needed this to work. It wasn't about fame anymore. It was about proving they could control a world that never listened unless someone screamed. The upload went live on a rainy Thursday night. They watched the numbers climb like fire. 10,000. 500,000. The comments poured in. Is she okay? This is fake? Call the cops. Lena's eyes glowed in the screen light. Evan's didn't. The line between thrill and terror blurred. Every refresh made her smile wider. And his hands colder. By morning, the video had reached the front page of every platform. Influencers made reaction videos. News anchors speculated. Hashtags multiplied like wildfire. But somewhere in the chaos of retweets and think pieces, someone saw an opportunity. A real one. Hours later, Lena's phone pinged with a message. If you want this to stay fake, pay up. The first ransom message arrived before sunrise. No filters, no edits, just Lena, crying, gagged, begging. Evan froze. He thought it was footage he hadn't cut yet, but the background was wrong. Grimy, industrial, somewhere far from their rented set. Her eyes weren't performing anymore. Her fear was alive. Someone had taken the script and rewritten it with blood. He tried to call her, text her, email her. Nothing. Every minute the video spread, the comments turned darker. This is real. She's in danger. He did it. By noon, Evan's address leaked online. By sunset, the police were knocking. Detective Mira Sloan took the case reluctantly. She'd seen hoaxes before. Attention junkies chasing clicks. But something about this footage unsettled her. The timestamp was real. The metadata traced back to an unknown IP, routed through 5 countries. Someone wanted this scene, but not found. You're saying it was fake, she told Evan, but someone made it real. His silence said everything. She studied his face. Guilt, confusion, exhaustion, the perfect cocktail for a suspect. The internet had already chosen its villain. Evan's old clips were dissected, slowed down, turned into evidence. Every pause became guilt. Every look became motive. Strangers built entire timelines of when he snapped. Lena's followers turned into detectives, hashtags into courtrooms. The lie was feeding itself. Evan watched himself trending beside the words, kidnapper and monster. He tried to explain. It was fake, but no one believed him. The truth was too boring to go viral. That night, a message arrived from an anonymous account. A GPS coordinate, a link, and one line, if you want her back, come alone. He didn't think twice. He grabbed his camera as if it could protect him. Maybe he wanted to document redemption, or maybe he still thought it was content. But the world outside was colder than the feed, and the silence between pings was unbearable. Somewhere, someone was watching the watcher. Inside the warehouse, the air stank of metal and dust. Evan called out her name. No answer. Then, faintly, a phone buzzed. He followed the sound to a tripod in the center of the room, his own camera mounted on it, recording. The feed streamed live. Millions were watching again. On the floor behind the lens, a phone displayed Lena's pre-recorded message. "If you see this, it's too late." And for the first time, Evan realized this wasn't a kidnapping. It was a trap built out of use. By dawn, the warehouse became a crime scene and a stage. The live stream hadn't stopped. Commenters dissected every pixel, every echo, turning tragedy into theater. Evan stood in the center of it, framed by flashing red and blue, realizing the stream wasn't coming from his channel anymore. Someone had mirrored it, multiplied it, cloned it. Lena's image was looping across thousands of feeds, her pre-recorded plea now a haunting chorus. "If you see this, it's too late." The world was addicted, replaying her fear on infinite repeat. And as Detective Sloan arrived, one question burned through the noise. Who was really behind the camera now? The investigation went viral. The hashtag #LenaLives trended for 2 days straight. Conspiracy accounts claimed the kidnapping was part of an underground fear stream. Real terror sold as content. Mira scrolled through thousands of clips, edits, and fan theories. Each one blurred fact and fiction more. "They turned her into data," she muttered. Evan sat nearby, pale and hollow. Every notification was another accusation, another fragment of his own guilt reflected back at him. He wasn't sure if he wanted to find Lena, or if he was terrified of what finding her would prove. That night, a new upload appeared. Live. The real ending. It showed the same warehouse, same setup, but now the camera was moving. Slow and deliberate. Someone else was holding it. Mira's team traced the signal to a remote storage server, bouncing across anonymous routers. Evan's heart sank. The framing, the pacing, it was his style. Whoever was behind it had studied him, mimicked him. Then a flicker. Lena's voice whispering his name. Mira leaned in. "She's alive," she said. "Or someone wants us to think so." The live stream's comment section became a war zone. Believers, trolls, detectives, all clawing for truth. Donations poured in, rewards offered. Then the camera turned, slowly revealing a masked figure. For the first time, the audience went silent. The figure held up a phone displaying Evan's social media profile, his face beside Lena's. The caption read, "He wanted attention. Now he'll get it." Mira froze the frame, zoomed in on a reflection in the mask. A faint outline of another screen recording them in real time. By midnight, the stream cut to black. Then, a single frame appeared, coordinates. Mira's team scrambled to decode them. Evan stood motionless. The numbers burned into his mind. It was their filming spot from the very first rehearsal. The hoax had looped back to where it began. Mira turned to him. "You said you wanted control," she said quietly. "Now you have none." The feed blinked again, one final line appearing on screen. Final episode. Tomorrow. The coordinates led them to the outskirts, an abandoned film studio half swallowed by vines. Evan knew it instantly. This was where he and Lena shot their first viral short years ago, back when they believed fame meant freedom. Now the building felt like a grave. The wind carried faint echoes of camera shutters, as if the ghosts of their past selves were still filming. Mira ordered her team to wait outside. "He needs to see it," she said. "Shh." Inside, the floor was littered with old props, fake blood, forgotten ambition. The screens lining the walls flickered to life, looping their earliest videos. Young, smiling, oblivious. Fame had turned their memories into weapons. The deeper they went, the more it felt staged, Cables still powered, cameras humming, tripods perfectly placed. Mira's instincts screamed trap. Evan's heart pounded as he saw something on the wall. Printed screenshots of their entire fake kidnapping script. Annotated, dissected, perfected. Someone had studied them, learned their patterns, and used them to build the illusion. Who had access to these files? Mira asked. Evan swallowed hard. Only her, he whispered. Only Lena. They found a laptop still recording. The last file was timestamped 10 minutes ago. Mira hit play. Lena appeared, alive but different. Her tone was calm, almost proud. This isn't about fame anymore, she said into the camera. It's about proof. I wanted to show what happens when you stop telling stories and start living them. Her smile faded. They wanted a tragedy. I gave them one. Then the screen glitched, replaced by a live feed of the room they were standing in, from a camera they couldn't see. The power cut out. Silence swallowed everything, except the hum of one remaining screen. On it, Lena walked into frame. Same warehouse, same ropes, but now untied. She held the camera herself. You think I'm the victim? She whispered. I made this. Every second, every scream. The video zoomed out, revealing the masked figure kneeling before her, restrained. Evan gasped. It was his own clothes, his own build, his reflection reversed. She's Liv, Mira said. And she's not done. Mira's team rushed in, but the signals multiplied a dozen fake locations broadcasting simultaneously. Lena had built a network of illusions. She wanted to vanish, Mira said. Now she's everywhere. Evan sank to the floor, realizing the truth. Lena hadn't been taken. She had staged her own disappearance. The ultimate performance. A masterpiece of deception, watched by millions, paid for in panic and grief. And as the final broadcast faded to static, her voice lingered through the noise. You can't cancel what's already immortal. It spread faster than truth ever could. Within hours, hundreds of accounts began reenacting Lena's kidnapping, filming their own versions, tagging her name for views. The world turned her horror into a template, a filter for fame. Detective Mira Sloan scrolled through the chaos, face tightening with disbelief. Evan couldn't even look. She made herself viral again, Mira said quietly. Every frame was another echo of the original sin. The fake turned real turned trend. Somewhere in the noise, a new upload appeared. Season 2 begins. The copycats weren't just for clicks anymore. Some of them went missing. Real people. Gone. Parents reported disappearances. A mother sent Mira a video of her daughter, crying in a dark room, staged exactly like Lena's original. This isn't content, Mira whispered. It's contagion. The internet had become infected, a virus that wore entertainment like a mask. Every repost was a resurrection. Every hashtag, a new performance. Lena's lie had evolved into something self-sustaining. Evan's guilt turned to obsession. He locked himself in a dark apartment, analyzing every frame of Lena's final broadcast. He slowed it down, reversed it, enhanced reflections. Somewhere in the static he saw her, alive, blinking in Morse code. He wrote it down, line by line. Not over yet. Was she trapped, or was she taunting him? The more he watched, the less he trusted his mind. Outside, the world kept reenacting her pain like a ritual. Inside, he realized she had turned the internet into her afterlife. Mira's team traced one of the new streams to a rural barn outside the city. When they arrived, the setup was identical. Lights, props, ropes, duct tape. Everything copied from the original. Only the victim was real this time. A young woman, alive but terrified, whispered through tears. They said Lena would notice me if I did it right. Mira looked around at the dozens of cameras still recording. Even in rescue, the lenses kept rolling. Fame had devoured empathy completely. By nightfall, the trend had a name: #LenaChallenge. Brands tried to distance themselves. Platforms issued apologies. But the algorithm didn't care. Outrage was engagement, and engagement was profit. Evan watched it all unfold from his phone, realizing the monster they made had no face anymore. Mira called him one last time. "You wanted to know if she's still alive," she said. "She is, but not the way you think." The feed refreshed. A new video appeared. A calm voice, unmistakably Lena's. "Welcome to the finale." The countdown began at midnight. Every screen on every platform lit up with the same phrase. "The finale begins in 60 minutes. Millions tuned in. The stream's black screen pulsed like a heartbeat. Mira watched from the operations center, jaw set. Evan sat beside her, hollow but alert. "If she's alive, she'll show herself tonight," Mira said. Evan didn't reply. He knew she would. Lena always knew how to make an entrance. Outside, city lights flickered like a digital storm. Inside, the air felt charged, electric, like the internet itself was holding its breath. The stream opened with static. Then Lena appeared. Not tied up, not frightened. Standing tall, confident, in a white dress that shimmered under soft light. "You've all been watching for months," she said. "You wanted truth. But truth is boring. You wanted pain. So I gave it to you." She smiled, calm, cold. "Now it's time for the end." Behind her, a curtain moved slightly. Mira leaned forward. "Where is she broadcasting from?" she demanded. The tech team traced the signal, faces paling. The coordinates matched the police station itself. Sirens blared through the precinct as officers scrambled. Mira drew her weapon, storming down the corridor. Evan followed, heart pounding. Every monitor showed Lena's face, her calm voice filling every hallway. "You made me famous," she said. "Now you can watch me disappear." They burst into the media room, empty, except for a single camera pointed at a chair draped in white fabric. The feed kept broadcasting, but Lena wasn't there. Evan approached slowly. On the chair lay a phone, still streaming, and on its cracked screen, his own reflection. "Check every floor," Mira shouted. But as her team fanned out, every screen in the building switched to a live feed of Evan standing in the room. From an angle no one could see. From an angle, the audience watched him in real time, millions of comments pouring in. "It's him again. He's the finale." Evan's breathing quickened. "She's in control," he muttered. Mira turned toward him. "No," she said. "She's been gone for days. Someone else is running this." And then Lena's voice whispered through the speakers. Soft, deliberate. "Not someone else. Everyone." The lights flickered. The stream's viewer count exploded, over 50 million watching. Lena's pre-recorded image appeared one last time, smiling directly into the lens. "There is no such thing as a flying," she said. "I didn't fake a kidnapping. I created a mirror." Her image glitched, splitting into hundreds of versions of herself. Then the feed cut to Evan's face, live, terrified, bathed in white light. The comment section exploded. He finished it. "She's still alive. It's all scripted." The internet had decided its truth. The finale wasn't Lena's story anymore. It belonged to everyone watching. When the stream finally ended, the silence was worse than the noise. For hours the world waited, screens frozen on the last frame of Lena's smile. No one knew if it was live, pre-recorded, or AI. Hashtags turned into eulogies, theories into religion. Some called it art, others called it murder. Mira stared at the wall of blank monitors, her reflection fractured across each one. "It's never over," she whispered. It's never over. Evan sat beside her, still staring at the empty chair where it had all begun. Outside, phones buzzed endlessly, the ghost of a story that refused to die. The internet began rewriting the ending. New uploads appeared, altered versions of the final, each claiming to show what really happened. Some featured Lena escaping. Others showed Evan's arrest. A few even used deepfake edits, merging their faces, erasing the line between victim and perpetrator. Mira watched in disbelief. The investigation couldn't keep up. Truth doesn't trend, she muttered. The story was no longer a crime. It was a culture, a myth that adapted to every riposte. The world had inherited their mat. Weeks later, Evan disappeared. No one noticed at first. His apartment was found empty. Only his camera remained, lens pointed at an open window. On the memory card, a single file. It wasn't a confession or explanation, just static. Then Lena's voice whispering one last time. "Thank you for watching." Mira replayed it over and over, searching for meaning in the noise. Maybe he went looking for her. Maybe she found him first. Or maybe the story had consumed them both, the way it always does, pixel by pixel, view by view. Mira gave her final statement to the press. She called it a cautionary tale, but no one listened. Reporters only wanted quotes that trended. "It started with a lie," she said, "and ended with worship." Cameras flashed, questions flew, but her words were already being clipped, captioned, remixed. As she stepped off the stage, she glanced at a nearby screen. Another new upload, titled, "The Detective Speaks." It was her own face, deep-faked, saying words she never said. Reality had officially gone offline. Months later, a new account appeared under the name Atlanta Cruz Official. The first post? A single photo. Lena standing in that same motel from the beginning, smiling gently, holding a camera. The caption read, "Let's start over." It trended within minutes. Some said it was fake. Others swore it was her. Mira deactivated her accounts that night. She turned off every screen, sat in silence, and listened to the hum of the world still watching. Somewhere in that noise, Lena lived on. Not as a person, but as proof that the internet never forgets, only reloads.